GX. He's the head of APEC Growth. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Hello, yeah. I think that's a good presentation for the part back to end. So I think let's go back to the fundamentals, like what is the DePIN. So I'm Andrew Law, so I'm head of growth, APEC growth at IoTex. So today in the next 10 minutes I will bring you what is the potential of DePIN and how it can onboard the next 1 billion users in the ecosystem. So first things first, what is DePIN? So DePIN is, by definition, is leverage blockchains with token incentive to decentralize the deployment of physical infra at a global scale. So imagine the project, how they use the token to to ensure people to buy the bag and then they will create a massive network at the global scale. Meaning you can buy the bag at the US, you can buy the bag in the Korea, but they all belong to the same network. So I think that's the beauty of the DePIN. And so let's look at the industry right now. I think in the DePIN space, we have so many builders across infrastructures, applications, as well as the services that they enable, like identity layers, AI layers, and there's so many things happening in the ecosystem. So in this industry, we might point out a few examples from the application level. So for example, we have like the humans as leaders in the wireless sectors. So they can provide $20 per month, and then you can connect to us. So instead of like back to us, but at any time you use your phone to send the location data, they will send you the tokens for doing so. And then the way they use your data is that they try to optimize the deployment of the hotspot so that they can offload more data from the network itself. So there's a lot more like this kind of example in DePIN. So we have demo in the mobilities, and then we have Nebula, weather aspect in the environmental sectors, and then we have some others like interesting project is coming out from the DePIN industry as well. So let's look at how big is the sectors. So maybe like 2 years ago, there's nobody like talk about the DePIN, but now this under the radar of the all the VCs, all the builders. So if you look at the industry, as of now, we have kind of like having like 1.2 billion fund investors in these sectors. And look at the number of projects. We have thousands of projects coming out. Coming out as of now compared to last year. So we only see like 150. So it's like 10x growth within like 18 months. So it's crazy in the space. And also we have this is a market that we have like more than millions of users. That you can see that people are actually buying the devices, become part of the network of that. So maybe you might ask me is like why DePIN matters. I can have others like fun on the crypto, right? I may do the DeFi, or I might play with the meme coins or any chance. But DePIN is actually like matters to me because I feel like it's DePIN is something that tangible, that it's interact with the real world economy. And you can see that how big the real world economy is, that it consists of like trillions of dollars in the markets. So there's a lot more compared to where we are at the crypto. It's such a very small size. So there's a lot of potential to unpack in the real world. So that we're combining with some, try to use the blockchain technology to unpack the potential in the traditional industrial. So I think that's the beauty of the DePIN. And the second reason that why you should care about DePIN is that DePIN is a global movement. So imagine that the wireless infrastructure is usually owned by the country or like by the regional, like, or if you can't see like, we have this telecom company on like multiple regions. It's very hard to see that kind of thing happen in the traditional way. But in DePIN, it's possible because you can see that even you can deploy the infrastructures like borderlessly, and then you can connect them in a very decentralized way. So that's kind of like if you see the dot, and that's how all the devices across the multiple networks, they are kind of like creating this kind of global networks, providing the services to the industry. And let's zoom in like in the Asia. So if you look at in the Asia, look at where we are right now. South Korea is actually very impressive. We have seen that the country is covered by the DePIN network pretty much everywhere in the country by different kind of the projects. For what I know that we have like hyperpros, we have the demos, and then we have the others kind of the DePIN project. They are kind of like entering the Korean market. So putting the South Korea as the leading market in this global movement. And then the third reason that why you should care about DePIN is that DePIN is actually for everyone. So I think for the Web2 example, so for the smokers, they actually can join the Web3 movement without realizing that they are actually in the blockchain technology. So I think that's a very interesting tech. Is that DePIN can map the normal persons like you and I can join the DePINs without you realizing. And this is kind of like it's more than the humans. It's like the network is designed for the humans and machines. So it's kind of like improving the daily interaction with the real world. So a lot of people like get to ask me about like how can I build a DePIN. So let's go through this DePIN network level. So the first thing is that you need to have the founders that have the problems to solve in any industry, and then you come up with a very innovative solutions. And that innovative solution that will attract the venture capital of funds to inject the financial capital, so that the project token value will be increased. And with the increase in the token value, they actually attract the early adopters, like the miners, deployers, or any like big wealth. They are willing to buy to own the part of the networks, and then to grow the infrastructures like globally. And then once the network is actually reaching the critical mass, and you will see, you will attract more DePIN developers coming to the ecosystem, try to build a different kind of application on top of the data networks. And then that application is actually attracting the end users, and end users will eventually become part of the community. And that community will help the network grow into the next stage. So this is how you grow a DePIN project from beginning to the mature state. But in fact, building the DePIN is very hard because it's unlike that you just launch a token, but you need to know how to connect the devices and processing the data, and also like having that data to help like maintain a trustable ledger on chains. How can you distribute the token to the users once they complete some proof of the physical work in your network? So I think this technical tech is actually like making people like, oh, they think that DePIN is hard. So that's why we see that there's three challenges in the space. The first thing is that because there's no mature test in the space, so we have the longest go to market lead time. And the second is that we see because a lot of these DePIN infra is built with the centralized infrastructures, so it's the lacking of trust, making the investors or the early miners don't dare to join because they couldn't be promised for what they do in off chance they will guarantee the reward afterwards. So this is the second challenge that we see in the space. And the last one is that DePIN is still in the early stage, and the market awareness is still very low. So even though we have like very good improved DePIN explorers, so we still need a lot more education across the globe. And that's why IoTex is here to solve the challenges. So IoTex is a modular platform. So we try to connect builders with the modular DePIN infra and helping them to connect the smart devices and the real world to the blockchain. So they don't need to worry about the technical part, and they just focus on the core logic of their businesses and let the technical part to us, which we have a lot of experience in this space. And another concept that we introduced in the space is like we have like a DePIN infrastructure leaders, and then we also have seen a lot of like very expertise in other areas like the deep. So we introduced like DIN. So DIN is DePIN infrastructure module, and this DIN is actually can unite all the infra builders leaders in the space. We come together to provide the modular solution to the builders so that they can just plug and play, so that they can build the DePIN quickly as soon as possible. So we have different partners in the space. So if you look at there's a DA layers, and then we have the storage layers, and then there's the connectivity layers, circuits layers, and then we have the off-chain compute parts. So this is kind of a very technical side of how you spin out the DePIN projects. And this Web3 is actually one of our test products, so it's focusing to provide a multi-prover network for DePIN verification. So in the previous use case, they are using the TE prover provided by Cliff, and Cliff can be an example of the DePIN partners. So under these Web3 frameworks, we allow different types of the verification provers, like Cliff, who is in the TE, and then we have the Rich Zero, who is expert in the GK zero knowledge proof, and then we also have as other partners in secure multi-party computational. So that's another type of the encryption that builders can use to encrypt the data so that they can ensure the data privacy, even though nobody in the Web3 care about that. But this is a solution that we can use to ensure the compliance of the project. So going back to the design, how IoTex actually can have the intersection between the DePIN. So there's a lot of examples that we can showcase or help the design founders. So in this POC, we work with the WeatherSM. So WeatherSM is environmental DePIN. So they collect the temperature data at your homes, and then they can provide that data to the weather networks to have the better prediction on the temperature model, and then you will get paid for contributing your data. So if you look at this, we have a network of the stations. They all combining together to contribute to the DePIN project, and then after the project, so they have the different kind of the DePIN partners here. So they can use the test file as a DA layer, and then for the storage they can use the Falcon as a long-term storage. And after the data is stored at the storage, so when we want to compute over the data, so the data from the temperatures can be computed in the web strings, and then we can leverage Rich Zero zero knowledge proof to encrypt, and then the zero knowledge proof will be sent to the on-chain to trigger the token distributions. So in that way, we create a framework for distribute the tokens based on the proof of physical world that you did in the real world, and the proof can be retrieved on chain, so that you can trust that this device is actually sending the data at this time, at this point, which is eligible to claim the rewards afterwards. So you are now you have a peaceful mind to set out the the devices at your phone, and then you can know that by the verification, you will get the reward that will contribute to the network. So here's the concept, the overall framework that can apply to decentralized finance. So you can have, as I said that, in the similar fashion that we will have a network for the wearable health devices. So in the decentralized science, maybe you want to collect the DNA of animals or the humans, and then you will need to have the physical device to do so. And the second part that after you collect the data from the devices about the DNA, the molecules, so you need to have the infrastructure to store the data or process the data. So that's where the DePIN infrastructure partners coming in to provide that kind of solution. And if you want to compute over the data to try to generate the proof based on the science data, so that's Web3 can work as a marketplace. Depending on the project needs, they can use zero knowledge, they can use a TE, or they can use a customized encryption methods to ensure that the data is not accessible by any other people. And lastly, for the token-based models, I think the people joining the side, I think part of that they want to earn from their data. So if I contribute my health data, can I get the reward as a return? So in the blockchain, we can ensure that work happens as long as you contribute the data and you can prove that you are the one who contribute that. Then you can get the rewards as you contribute to the network for that. So I think lastly, so the DePIN is kind of like a new to the sectors. I think we are still in the early stage. We see a lot of projects every day coming to IoTex and seeking for resources and how to help them to go to market quickly. So I'm very excited about the potential of DePIN, and I appreciate your time to listen through the presentation. So if you have any questions, I think we can catch up after this, and I'm happy to talk offline. So thank you.